choice really. The only choice I've got to defend myself. And this is the only way I can justify self-defense. Now, to answer your question, I don't think, okay, in terms of in Baluchistan, if we had like the problem of Baluchistan, I don't think is going to be resolved just by taking guns and you're going to defend yourself. But I do sympathize with those people that defend themselves. I can't see any other way. So, but that's one part. But all the options, democratic options, all the democratic venues must be explored through democratic venues, setting, I don't know, unions, women's organization, I don't know, setting trade unions in certain parts that, there are workers, I don't know, cultural organizations, even nowadays, in terms of the language, because we are not allowed even to speak our languages, either both East and West Baluchistan, by the way. There is no, in education, the education that you have is either in Farsi or in Urdu. Okay, so something maybe in terms of the cultural issues, you can raise it. You try to make campaigns within the context of what they accept and believe as well. Having all these venues open and you explore, but as well as you defend yourself. I have no doubt, I think all of you do the same. If I come with a knife, you're going to defend yourself. And this is exactly what we have. And some people, of course, they're going to start, to go to mountains. And now you've got many political organizations, quite democratic, open organization, and they're fighting for their rights in Baluchistan.
But they're killing them as well.
Yeah.
People from, it comes to mind people from the BNP, like I can't remember the names.
Yeah.
Yeah, two of the representatives were killed a few months ago.
Yeah, exactly. I think in Baluchistan the situation is you really have no options. If there was a democratic option, I don't think there is going to be people are going to use arms or they're going to, I don't know, to go to follow the arms triangles. I think in Baluchistan there is always I think there has been this sense, if you rationalize things, if you can really resolve, because it's part of traditions of the Baluch society. And another thing, just remind you, we never had this sense of capital punishment, never been in history. Suddenly, in the last 60 years, since the Iran and Pakistan are occupied, it's just part of the ordinary life. So, yeah, I agree, but even when you want your democratic rights, basic rights, through democratic means, you are not allowed. Why you are not allowed? Because you never ever going to have a democratic a system when the foundations of the whole system is undemocratic. So how can you have democracy and when you believe, I don't know, in fascism? I mean, it just is a contradiction in terms. How are you going to have democracy when you believe that, these people, they must be suppressed and they must be controlled. They must be annihilated because this artificial border that we created is a sanctity of the state. You are not going to have a democracy, it's just meaningless. Now, whether we are going to get democracy, of course you have no choice. They have no choice, So you're going to have they continue the way as they continue, and for the last 62 years of Pakistan, give me just one single day, I challenge you here, no, one single day from the day this fundamentalist Frankenstein was created, one single day, that it was some kind of stability. Never ever been a stability, always problem. Look, they're so harsh to themselves, let alone to, I don't know, Baluch. Their own president, one day they put them, okay, their president, next day they execute them, next day they assassinate them, next day, I don't know, they put a lot of other, you know, stuff on media. So the system, the nature of the system is something wrong with the nature of the system. And the solution to that is really open society, is democracy, is use of imagination, is use of democratic values, is use of, I don't know, it's the only way I can think of. Open society, democratic society, and you resolve it democratically.
Can I ask something? Yeah. I mean, there's no justification. Obviously, people, those people are being killed or kidnapped or made disappear. But can you justify killing, like, in self-defense or retaliation to a ordinary, for example, Punjabi or anybody else inside Balochistan who happen to be teaching in a school or being a lecturer in some university or being a doctor or being just a laborer? Because there are incidents where those people have been killed. So can you justify that?
No, there is no justification for killing of anyone. Okay, so I think I'm not a lawyer, but I think I've got basic sense of human rights. There is no justification for any individual human being. Okay, hold on. There is no. Now, when you've got for 60 years of brutality, and some of the people, remember, some of the people, okay, may appear as even teachers, may appear, I don't know, taxi drivers, okay, and some of them they've been working for ISI, okay. But what I'm saying, there is no justification for any human being killed, okay. Baluch people, they have no forms against any nation, okay, be Punjabi or Farsi or any other nation. You have a lot of Punjabi suffered exactly the same way he suffered in the hands of Pakistani system. A lot of Persians suffered exactly the same way we suffered in the hands of fundamentalist regime of Iran. So we have no qualms in that. We never had. There is, I'm sure you might understand. I think if you count Balochistan, there is one thing is crucial about Baluch society is accepting refugee, even if that refugee is your enemy. As long as you are in Balochistan, I'm sure Carlos at least has got some maybe experience of. There is very strong tradition in Balochistan accepting refugees and making sure that those refugees or those people there are, okay, from another nations or different, they're going to be protected. Now, one of my colleague, a friend, mentioned that we've got Baluch who are Hindu. These Hindus, where they come from, these Hindus? These Hindus, when the Pakistan they created, these Hindus escaped to Balochistan, and Balochistan protected them. These are the same people, the Hindus, when they created Pakistan, and these people, they didn't have anywhere to go, and they came to Balochistan, and now they're Baluch, they're like one of us. So accepting people as refuge is part of tradition, is part of customs, and we value that very much. So that's why the number of Baluch Hindu killed when Musharraf was in power, we all got the documentation. These fundamentalists, they came, they killed Baluch Hindus, and these Baluch Hindus are those Hindus, they escaped Pakistani or fundamentalist forces, and they came to Balochistan. But to answer to your question, there is no justification of killing any innocent people or anyone. Basically, I'm against any killing. We are suffering from killing of all these big establishments. But the outcome, remember, the outcome of all these killings, okay, I see underlying in your question, okay, is there is another intention. The reason that these people are being killed are Pakistani military system. These are also the victims of Pakistani military and fundamentalist system. Even those people, they're Punjabi, they're in Baluchistan, if they're killed, they are the victims of this establishment.
You, in a way, you justify it.
No, I'm not justifying. What I'm saying those people that all the killings, all the violence is there, is not because Baluch are not causing it. Because then your underlying question is that Baluch haven't caused that. Baluch, have you ever heard of one Baluch going to Punjab or going to any other part and causing problem? Have you heard one?
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop you there because there is coffee outside or tea, and we have a video to watch immediately after. So a 10-minute break now, please, for a drink, and we come back for a video. Thank you very much.